Hello, welcome to White Door Tarot, where the reader is bubbly, but the readings can get dark. So today I am going to be doing Aries September second half general readings. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Fire Ant, Tiger. I usually try to stick with 3, but we'll take it. Owl and Starfish. All right, let's start with Fire Ant. Aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When in balance, thoughtful and disciplined. When out of balance, argues, excess heat, gossips. To bring into balance, solo time, walks at night. Something tells me that this is tied to a work situation. Now let's look for the tiger. There it is. Lunar force, ease in darkness, feminine energy. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, trataka, candle gazing. Interesting. Candle gazing. Pyromancy. All right. Now let's look for the owl. Abundance, clairvoyant, treasures. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon, how it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. When in balance, generous, trusting, secure. When out of balance, money quarrels, scarcity. To bring into balance, an offering. Something tells me that these two are tied together. Something to do with breaking out of the hustle and bustle of this stuff. Taking a moment for yourself to tap into this stuff. All right, starfish. Beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been Harry. Do you want out? Do you want out, buddy? All right, where was I? The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? When in balance, uplifting, artistic, expressive. When out of balance, gossips, feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. This feels very much like the September 3rd general reading titled something about, do you feel the pressure? You're waking up. This feels like that reading again. All right, let's see here. Aries, love. If you can't tell, constant interruptions from the critters that live in my house are going to be a thing on this channel, but that's okay because they're adorable. I have such an unconventional way of laying out the cards, and I'm still new to the second camera thing, so I'm trying to see how far I can spread this out before it goes out of bounds of the camera. Okay. Is that too far? That's too far. How about right there? This is starting to feel more and more like that golden egg reading just because I'm seeing a lot of repeat cards here. Where can I put you? You feel like you go right here. Come on, Cappy. Aries, it feels like something broke your heart. Something was very heavy in your energy. But it feels like a lot of the sting, a lot of the initial ache is behind you. I say that because we have an energy here of climbing up and out of the dark and into the light. We also see with the Six of Swords, the rainbow after the storm. It seems like you're coming out of the ouch, 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 I'm hurt energy. And there's something in you that's trying to go more into this Four of Swords contemplative healing. Kind of, I call it the Hermit Junior. It's almost like turning inward, trying to gain what you can gain internally from this situation. The Two of Swords and the Justice, they feel like they're one and the same, or more two different parallel paths to the same process. Something needs to be made right here, but there's another part of you that is staying stagnant on purpose, because the Two of Swords is about indecision, a stalemate, and there's inner conflict with the Five of Wands. And the difference probably, or shall I say more, the reason that you're dragging your feet on something, it's likely because this here would take a lot of effort. But when you're already at the Nine of Cups, as in when you're already happy with yourself, happy with the way things are, nah, I wouldn't say happy. I would say content with the way things are. Reaching out for something more than what you already have is kind of just a bonus, isn't it? So on a brighter way of saying this, it's like you're already living a pretty good life for yourself. Although the fire ants and the starfish would say otherwise. But in your mind, you're like, I'm good. I'm living a good life. Anything else is just a bonus. But all this is saying that that's not true. But obtaining the thing that you want right now requires accountability. It requires effort. And it requires going out on a limb for something that in your mind you don't need, but you can't help but want. And I say that because we have the Father of Wands here. And Wands energy is all about taking action, passion. It's all about, I think people tend to associate emotion with the cups or with water signs. But I think that fire signs are very, very emotional. They're passionate and they're warm and they're dedicated at their best. At their best, they just radiate love. The Father of Wands here, to me, feels like a very emotional character. This is logic flying out the window. This is rationality crunching under a car tire. I don't know why that's the visual that I got. This is something that makes you burn. And it doesn't make sense why. Cappy, I'm going to have to put you down for a moment because mommy's got to pull a couple more cards. I want to know how we get from all this to the Ace of Cups, the Daughter of Cups, and the Magician. The Magician being present there as well, although the High Priestess showed up along with him, really does make me feel like this ties into that golden egg reading. So check that out if you're curious as to what I'm talking about. Four of Cups, To me, it's the card of letting opportunity pass. The Hanged Man. Seeing things from a different perspective. Perhaps this is about finally stepping out of pride, stepping out of ego, and seeing that there is still more that you can do for this situation. Seeing that it's not as over as you're telling yourself that it is, to evade the work that it will take to repair it. I say that because we have the Seven of Swords, and this is a card of typically trickery, mischief, distrust. Along with the Seven of Cups, which is about illusion and wearing a mask. Once that mask comes off, or once it stops working for you, once the lies that you tell yourself to make yourself okay with accepting a seedling to be an ending, that's when you get to the Ace of Cups, the Daughter of Cups, and you manifest, or more, you take an active role in creating what you want. Or this could be the other person, let the shoes fit whoever they fit. Roles can be reversed and yada yada yada. You know what tarot readers like to say. But I really think that this is you, because this feels like it ties into that golden egg reading. I feel like I'm reading for the same person or the same general population that are going through something similar. Is that as you grow, as you go through the process of growth and you self-reflect and you turn inward, you introspect, and as you heal, it's a difficult process to get through just because it's hard to look at yourself sometimes. It's hard to accept your own shortcomings sometimes. But yeah, this feels like something that you're healing from. And as you heal from it, you're starting to realize how much promise it had, how much potential it had. And you're having a hard time letting it go still. But it's not the pain associated with it that ties you to it anymore. It's the realization that it's something that still lights you on fire. But you're telling yourself that it's over. You're telling yourself that it's out of your hands. But this Justice card, along with the Father of Wands, tells me that it is up to you. That's kind of funny too, because I was just watching Wolfman Tarot's readings, and it was saying something similar. I've been watching other tarot readers' readings lately because I find it interesting how a lot of what I say in my readings are lining up with other readers as well, reading for the same signs. So, I guess the question is, how bad do you want this? And what are you willing to do? Okay, now getting into Aries work for the second half of September. We got Justice back. We got the Six of Wands, Son of Swords, Ten of Cups. Six of Cups, the Tower, Four of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. Interesting. I think I need two more, please. I'm going to rearrange these because... Okay. Tower, Hierophant. They go together. The Four of Pentacles. Six of Cups. These two go together. Along with this, these two look like the reason for the Tower. Justice as well. So, Aries, it feels like there is something afoot at work. The Hierophant, they call it the marriage card, but for me, it speaks of structure. It is deeper wisdom, knowledge, studies, but it also speaks to me of structure. And I know that's typically associated with the Emperor, but I think both do. So these two feel like wherever you're working, on a fundamental level, foundational level, it doesn't feel like it's going to be there for much longer. And I don't think it's a you thing. It feels like the collapse of a company. And with the economy that we're in right now, it kind of makes sense that that would be happening left and right. But with the Four of Pentacles popping up right after this, this feels like a need to hold on to your resources for a while in preparation until you can find something else. Basically jump ship before it sinks, or until this happens to you. The Six of Cups, it's about nostalgia, but what really sticks out to me right now is these roots. And they tell me, be mindful of your foundation of your life, as in, how steady is your structure? How much do you have in savings? How much of a shakeup can your lifestyle take right now? That's what that's telling me. And it looks like the reason for the Tower has something to do with deceit, sneaky. Son of Swords, incoming news. It feels like it just starts with a piece of communication. Something that brings to light deceit, malice, trickery. And justice. These three together feel like they tie into that, they cause that. Now, whether you jump ship before that happens, or you decide to stay until the Tower crumbles, It looks like you will recover from it, and you'll be okay. But be mindful of what I said here. Yep. Let's see. Anything else? Because that was pretty disturbing. Oh, believe in yourself. Inner strength. The lion card. Without the lady shoving her hand in his mouth. You'll be okay. You'll be all right. Just be prepared. And maybe start looking elsewhere. And whatever you find is going to be good for you. It's going to be better than where you're at. Because this fire ant card kind of aligns with what's going on here. Yeah. Now, to the shadow work. Okay. Oh, they're asking for a shuffle after that one. That was heavy. I don't blame them. I would want an energetic shower after news like that myself. They're good. Aries shadow work. Son of Cups is back. Daughter of Swords is back. Father of Wands is here again. Or no, Daughter of Swords is new. Father of Wands is back. Nope, too many. The Three of Swords is back, along with the Ten of Wands. Son of Swords is also here. The Daughter of Swords and Son of Swords. Where else did that reading pop up? Or well, where else did this pair pop up? I remember seeing them recently. Mother of Pentacles. A lot of owls in this reading, too. Father of Cups. Ten of Swords is back again. Oh, that's not showing in that other camera. There you go. Daughter of Swords feels like she belongs here, actually. Daughter of Cups. Magician is back. Tell me more about the other path. I don't know why they're telling me to put this here. Starfish. About vanity, relying on your looks. Magician. Three of Cups. Ace of Wands. Ten of Pentacles. Justice. Both of them. Okay. Oh, Aries. The Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords are back with the Ten of Swords. Something ended, but it doesn't feel like it's over. And I say that because of all of this. You have the Six of Wands here, which to me, oh, sorry. There you go. The Six of Wands here, which to me is about transformation, recovery, hope, moving forward. It's like that first tiny step that you take in your path to healing. But it came with a question. How will you heal? How do you choose to heal? Because there are two paths. One begins with the starfish, and that was about relying on your appearance, relying on your looks, being pretty. And that feels like I'm getting a jumble of things. That feels like the type of person that the first thing that they do after heartbreak is work on their body instead of going inward. It's never a bad thing to work on your physical health, but in the starfish's case, it's about vanity. It's about overly relying on appearance. Now, this could be about someone that takes heartbreak and goes to the gym about it, or takes heartbreak and goes and tries to get attention from other people about it. You know, basically rebounds and attention from people that you know are not good for you in the long run, people that won't go the distance with you, and doing that knowingly just because it makes you feel better about yourself. Son of Swords, hasty communication. The fact that it's not the Father of Swords tells me that this is somewhat immature thinking. I don't know why TikTok culture is coming to mind right now. But the Father of Wands coming up here. This feels like, in this context, impulsiveness. I usually call the Eight of Pentacles in this deck, it typically means mastery of your craft. But in this deck, the fact that it's a spider in the middle of her web kind of talks to me about setting up your web and then not moving, not taking action. And sometimes that's what you need to do. Sometimes Spirit calls you to be still, and sometimes it calls you to move. But the fact that these two are sitting next to each other tells me that you're being called to move, but you're refusing to. The Five of Cups is about returning to a watering hole that is dry. It's about crying over spilled milk. And to me, this is talking about this entire path, as in, this isn't working for you, it's not nourishing you, and you know it. Other path, we have the Son of Cups. He's a beginner at getting in touch with his emotions. And we have the Mother of Pentacles. To me, this is about nurturing your inner child. Father of Cups, mastery over your emotions. Daughter of Swords, a softer approach to communication, a softer approach to logic and rationality. And the Daughter of Cups, she feels like the armor crumbling. And you are stuck in between, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between these two paths. But your usual escape routes are blocked. Your usual coping mechanisms aren't working. But if anything, whether this is truly over or not, it looks like there's something that you need to work out within yourself. Accountability, it feels like taking a good hard look at yourself and how you've always coped, how you've always related. And you don't have to do that for anyone else but yourself. Because beyond justice, we have the Magician, the Three of Cups, which is about harmony, Ace of Wands, which is about new, fresh, inspired action, and we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is ultimate abundance. And it all starts from the Magician. And I talked about this in the Golden Egg reading as well, but the Magician is someone who manifests through the embodiment of what he wants. He's not afraid of his own malleability. He's not so stuck in his ways, and that's exactly how he attracts what he wants. That's his magic. His power is in his willingness to grow. His power is in his openness to possibilities, to opportunities. The fact that it's the Magician and not the Hierophant or the Emperor that's showing up here after Justice tells me that you are meant to shed your skin right now for the betterment of yourself, your life. And you notice that there isn't much color on this side. The color, it doesn't get very vibrant until we get here. That in itself feels like a message. The Magician in the Golden Egg reading also tied into magic. He came out with the High Priestess. This feels related to this. Doing this isn't just, it doesn't even have to be about repairing this. It's about getting to this. It's about getting in touch with your own magic, your own power, because someone who is aware of their own weaknesses is empowered. That just came out of nowhere. Couldn't repeat it if I wanted to, but I said what I said because they said what they said. Anyway, this feels like a process that you have to go through for your own sake. Yes, it'll bring harmony into your life, possibly friendship, possibly connection. And yes, it'll bring you new opportunities, inspiration, a spark, joy, passion, and ultimate abundance. And you will find that your external world will grow with you as well. But this is a process that you have to go through for your own sake. Because it's becoming evident that you can't continue to operate the way that you have been operating. It's not working. The watering hole is dry there. That's what this tells me. Well, that was an interesting one. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you. I got what I got, I guess. Good luck! So, Aries, I doubt that you liked what you saw here today, but if it resonated or if it helped, like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel in any way that you feel compelled to.